So today I went to the driver's license facility because I've got a second Digibug, which is a little bit newer for Westwood Jr. And I needed to get it licensed. Been kind of putting it off because, you know, for a while they were not open for people. I mean, only certain things. You couldn't do certain things there. Couldn't get things done. You had to do it online, which is great. Got a sticker renewed online. Boom, came right in the mail. Not an issue. I go today, and you've got to wait outside the building. And this is a rural building. This is not, I mean, this is a small town that I go to. And we've got old people, I mean, retired, obviously, I mean, people in their 80s, sitting outside in the sun, because fortunately they had some chairs out there for them to sit on. And some people brought their own. It's like a rock concert. You know, you're waiting to get in the freaking, this is ridiculous. Umbrellas, you know, because of the sun. Hot pavement that you're standing on, sitting on, waiting outside. And the inefficiency, we've got the ladies coming out. There's 4 ladies working inside there. They came out, and everybody's wearing their mask outside, you know, so, I mean, I didn't, but, you know, a lot of people did. And it's hot. It's just, anyway. So the ladies would come out, and they'd call 2 or 3 in at a time. And when you get in there, there's about 6 people waiting inside. There's 2 rows, 3 and then 3. And then you come up one at a time. And like I said, there's 4 people working. Now, one of them, you know, would go out and do a driver's test here and there, but there's still 3 people all the time. I mean, I swear, it was like a half an hour average person it took to get it done. I mean, people were not coming out. People were not going in. It was just so slow, so inefficient. And I kept asking myself, how can this be made better? How can we not have to go through this? How can I not have to waste 2 hours of my time? Really more than that, because by the time I drove there, I mean, I had at least 2.5 hours into it, maybe more. And now I'm making a video, so I'm spending more time on it. So 3 hours, there you go, whatever. Needed a beer. Shout out to Mitch. Mitch got me onto this from Cuss Carpentry from the Crypto Campfire. Good stuff, 7% in each can. So, you know, it's just aggravating because what needs to be done there that can't be done online? I mean, we can order our stickers online, they come in the mail. You pay online, you know, you pay digitally. You don't need cash, you know, so it's done. It comes in the mail. You got your sticker, you put it on the plate, done deal. I went today to buy a new car. Well, I didn't buy a new car, you know, to license a new car. So I had to pay $150 to get the title. So here's the title, sign the title, send the title in. Title comes back in 6 weeks, $150, got my name on it. Okay, I get it. There's an expense to doing that. You know, there's inefficiency built into the system, obviously, that you need to cover. So there's that. I mean, but then it's $151 for the sticker that goes on the back of the license. There's $25 tax, you know, to the Department of Revenue for the state. I mean, you know, they're getting their cuts, and we're paying money for this stuff, but we're not getting good service. You know, if I had this kind of service at a restaurant, which aren't open right now, and you can't get service anyway, but, you know, if somebody curbside service, you know, and I got this crappy food and it didn't taste good, you know, it took forever. I mean, just not a good experience. Why would I want to pay for it? Or at least, why would I want to pay full price for it? You know, I should have said, I'll give you $150 instead of $300. I mean, it's just, the inefficiencies built into the system is a lot of what we're dealing with here. Nobody should have to deal with this stuff. We don't need to do it. If we can do all this online, and as I mentioned in my Twitter video earlier, we could do, most of it comes down to they want to verify your identity when you go in there. That's really what it is. So if there's a way to digitally identify you, and we know who's placing the order, we know that, oh, you're good to go, you know, you're so-and-so, you're Clint Westwood. So, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. We'll send it to you. Boom. Send it to your phone. Got an app on the phone. Okay. You know, it sends all your licensing information. You know, but better yet, let's have a blockchain. And I know Civic was trying to do this at one point. Validate your identity on the blockchain so that, you know, you could go to, and I think Ken Bozak, you know, he had a video of this at some event where there was a vending machine with beer in it. You could go up with your phone and verify your identity, your age on the Civic blockchain, which is what it was using to validate you. And you could buy a beer through the vending machine because, you know, your age is validated. You're making that transaction with your phone, your personal possession that you authenticate through because you face scan through it or you thumbprint or you put your ID in. So it is you. I mean, how many banking apps do we have to where You got to validate your phone number, through the phone. They send you an SMS message, whatever. It's validated through your phone. And that's what happens. You do your face scan, you do whatever it takes to unlock that phone, because they assume that you have that phone, and you're verifying yourself. But you could take it further. You could do facial recognition and store some file on the blockchain that then gets pulled down and decrypted, however far you want to do it. But the point is, there's ways now that we can validate this in a decentralized way. We don't need to go in and have someone, oh, is this you? Oh, let me see your driver's license. Okay, yeah, that's you. All right, now I need to fill out this information on this piece of paper. Now I need to input it into the computer, and you got to wait 6 weeks to get it back. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We've got, and even your picture. Do you need to even go in and take your picture? Because that's all they're doing. It's just like the worst photographers in the world. You go get the worst picture that you've ever taken, then you have to have it on your license for 4 years, 10 years, whatever it is. And, it's embarrassing. Why can't we, when you do a selfie, you hold up your phone and you're like, no good, no good, no good. And then you pick a good one. Why can't we take a selfie of ourselves? And that's our digital identity. At least it's better than the driver's license, and it uploads to our identification, in the blockchain, wherever it is. But it's just irritating to see the inefficiency, to see the wastefulness, to see how broken the system is. And I think this whole pandemic, what we've seen is just, it's waking us up to the fact of how inefficient and really incompetent government is. They can't make all this decisions. They don't have all the answers. I look at the schools and I talk to people in schools all the time. And, today I had some conversations. So what are you doing to reopen schools? And it's almost like everybody's kind of tiptoeing and stepping back and saying, okay, we're going to distance learn for 2 weeks, then we're going to see what happens. And nobody knows how to fix the problem. They don't know how to do it. So they're just buying time. That's all they're doing, is buying time. But buying time for what? If we can't come up with better solutions and better ways to do things, then buying time's not going to do us any good. So we need to really step back and just take a look at what's going on now and say, all right, how can we fix this? And it's not going to get fixed overnight. Let's start at the DMV. How do we fix that situation? Why do we have to have people there who are then forced to social distance, who are then forced to wear masks, who are then forced to waste a lot of their day, a lot of their time? These old people could have a heat stroke out there. Seriously. I started thinking, and then it says when you get in there, oh, no food or drink. And I'm thinking, well, shoot, if I'd brought my water with me, or if these old folks had brought their water with them, they're not supposed to have it inside. Oh, maybe when you're outside, but then what do you do with it? Leave it outside so the sun cooks the water and boils it in the bottle? It's just, everything we've done doesn't work. So it's time to really take a look at it, and with digital solutions, with blockchain, with the technology that's out there now, there's no reason for a lot of this to happen. We can make things more efficient. Face it, you can scan a check and deposit it into your banking account. The old school check, you can scan it and put it in. Okay, why can't we scan ourselves or identify ourselves on our phone and order the products that we need from the government that we're paying for? And you know what? When it becomes more efficient, that's how you cut the fat. That's how things, become more cost effective. Because right now, government just bloats itself trying to figure out solutions, adding more people to the problem. Well, that's not it. That thing should have been able to be run with one person. You didn't need 4 people there. Okay, maybe you need 2. You got one person that all they do is give people driving tests. But in the schools now, the driving instructors are allowed to do that, to where they test the students and the student takes the paperwork in and pays their fee. So the driver's facilities don't even need to do that anymore. We have schools that do that. Okay, if they don't go to school, okay, back to the driver's facility. But you don't need 4 people to be that inefficient, running around back and forth. That's what they do. Get this paper, go over here and get this paper, go over here and take a picture, come back, it's just boom, 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 boom. It's not streamlined. And that needs to be fixed. And it's like that in a lot of different government agencies, and no fault to the people there, because they're in a broken system just trying to make it work. But it really needs to work. We're paying for it. Again, if I order a pizza and, I get all the toppings that I want on it, and then all of a sudden, it doesn't have them, or the cheese is slid all the way to the side. Come on. That's just not, you're not going to pay for that. So why are we paying for bad service? from our government. And we're paying a lot of money. I paid $326 today to license a car that is, 2004 vehicle. It just doesn't make sense. So let's make things more efficient. Let's look at ways to make things more efficient. And I think a lot of the ways to do that are through cryptocurrencies, through blockchain specifically. The cryptocurrencies are just on the blockchain or utilizing blockchain technology, but it's a truth protocol. I mean, everybody can see it's like having the books, opening the books, but everybody's got access to the books all the time. So there's no questioning, that's not like, well, I need to go to the archives and see, what it really says in here. And no, you don't need to do that because it's all open to everyone. And if and it's encrypted, but everyone can see transactions, and then you can encrypt your data onto the blockchain and authenticate, and only you can see it. I mean, it works for information. And it won't get lost because you've got all these computers replicating that code, replicating that ledger, that public ledger that exists. So as long as there's at least one computer running, you can have an EMP in the United States, and then all these other computers are still storing that information. It's not in some dusty old courthouse or in some file cabinet, in the state capitol. You don't have that issue. So it's just, we got to start thinking, what's the future? And have those ideas in place, because everything that's worked up to this point doesn't work. And I saw that today, and I know a lot of you have seen that, and it's just, I'm on a little bit of a rant, but it's just, I just see so many fixes with technology that haven't been implemented. And a lot of it's just because when a corporation, when a government gets so big, they don't know how to, it's like having a huge battleship or a huge, like the Titanic, it's a huge boat. You can't just turn it around, like a jet ski. It's not nimble. It takes a long time to turn, and, you got to think it through, and we got to start thinking it through. That's all I'm saying. So, rant over. Got my beer, thankfully. I needed it after this. But it is kind of funny, talked to some nuns while I was there. So, there's probably a joke there somewhere, Clint Westwood and two nuns walk into a DMV, but it's kind of, it's funny. I mean, you just kind of laugh at it, but it's not funny because we're paying paying our money that we've earned, and it's kind of frustrating, but humor fixes a lot of things. So I don't know, tell somebody a joke and get through the hard times. You know what? I love you all. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Happy Wednesday, Westwood Wednesday. Until next time.